Yoshiro is also slowly recovering since he's also a demon. Yoshiro lends his powers to Tanjiro so that he can see the arrows flying over the ball, thereby orienting its flight path. Tanjiro also realizes that there are two demons. He asks Nezuko to take care of the remaining demon in the tree, and he will fight the ball demon himself. Thanks to Nezuko's impact on the arrow, the ball didn't follow the arrow. Tanjiro jumped at the opportunity and cut off the ball demon's arm. At this time, the demons also realize that Tamayo and Yoshiro are traitors, so they decide to kill them both and bring back their heads. Nezuko and Yoshiro take care of the ball demons and Tanjiro handles the arrow one. Tanjiro struggled but he couldn't cut the arrows because as soon as he touched them, they would pull him in that direction. After many beatings and bruises, Tanjiro finally found a weak point. He used water sulfur to wrap the arrows and swing his sword to cut off the arrow demon's head. Arc 10. Together Forever. Although his head was cut off, the demon used the last of his strength to try to pull Tanjiro along. In the end, Tanjiro managed to fight back until the demon and arrows disappeared. He fell to the ground and broke many bones. On the other side, Nezuko has been injected with healing medicine for demons by Lady Tamayo. She considers Yoshiro and Tamayo like mother and brother, so she tries her best to protect them. The more she hit the stronger she became, but she still was not a match for the ball demon. In the end, Lady Tamayo took action. She used the sunlight magic incense to make those who smelled tell the truth. The ball demon said the name of the Musen and was mercilessly killed by his curse. After the battle, Tamayo realized that these two were not 12 moon demons. Musen had tricked them, their eyes had no inscriptions. The sun came out, and the ball demon disappeared. Nezuko and the others were in time to get out of the tunnel to avoid the sun. Lady Tamayo burst into tears as Nezuko hugged her and treated her like a relative despite her demonization. She offered to adopt Nezuko and bring her along, so it would be safer to fight with Tanjiro. But the oldest sister of the Komatsu family holds her brother's hand and they decide to be together forever. The two brothers bid farewell to Lady Tamayo and Yoshiro, then set off on their next mission. While on his way southeast, Tanjiro came across a blonde young man who was also one of the last people present at the final selection. Arc 11, Tsuzumi Mansion. The person Tanjiro meets is Zenitsu, a timid young man who is afraid of death. He asked Tanjiro to protect him until he can get married. Then the two entered the forest, where they met two trembling children. Their brother was captured by the demon. Tanjiro left the box in case something bad happened, then entered the house with Zenitsu. The two children also ran in because of the sound coming from the box that Tanjiro left behind. They were accidentally separated. The house was shifted in architecture with the drum's beat of the demon. Here, when Zenitsu led the boy to run out, he met a young man wearing a pig mask holding two diurnal swords in his hand. However, the man doesn't care about him. Meanwhile, Tanjiro is with the little girl and encounters the demon. According to Tanjiro, he seems to be the strongest one. He always grumbles because other guys prevent him from eating the child with high blood. Tanjiro drew his sword to attack, and the room changed to the beat of the demon's drum. Tanjiro quickly realized that the whole house was his territory. After a while, the young man with the pig mask also rushed in. He challenged the demon. Arc 12. The boar bears its fangs. Zenitsu sleeps. The young man in the wild boar mask rushed to attack the demon. However, with the drum in his hand, the demon rotated the room gently, making it impossible for anyone to touch him. Then the room was teleported to another place. Due to the wild boar man stepping on the girl, Tanjiro ran to throw him away. The wild boar-headed man charged at the Tanjiro, after which the room continued to move. Zenitsu and the brother this time had encountered another demon, with a long and sharp tongue. Zenitsu suddenly fell asleep and woke up with a completely different person, with extremely dangerous manners, and a lightning-fast sword. He rushed over, easily grabbing the demon's head. The wild boar was also teleported to another room. While searching for the drum demon, he encountered a large demon. With both blades in hand and the breath of beasts, he finished the demon quickly. Tanjiro and the sister reached the place where the brother was captured. He has blood called high blood, a rare blood type that makes demons who eat this 100 times stronger than when they eat normal people. The drum demon was formerly the 12th moon demon but was stripped of his title by Muzan, making him want revenge. When the three demons competed to see who would eat the high blood human, one of the demon's drums fell out and the brother robbed him. Then he was able to use it to move the room and was able to survive until now. Tanjiro told the two brothers to stay still using the drum to survive. He rushed out to find the drum demon, but his old wound had not yet recovered, causing his every movement to hurt to the bone. But he remembered his master's instructions and previous efforts to revive his spirit. Arc 13. Something more important than life. After a while of struggling to adjust to the chaos of the room and the fierce attacks of the demon, he found the most gentle way to land. The thread appeared, and he turned to deliver the finishing blow to the opponent. Previously, when the drum demon was still a human, his songwriter was not recognized by anyone. But now, as he has been praised by Tanjiro, he can die peacefully. Tanjiro then came to pick up the two brothers. Before that, Zenitsu and the brother had escaped when the room shifted. The wild boar man also rushed out. He smelled the demonic smell from Tanjiro's box. The man tried to kill Nezuko, but Zenitsu stopped him, even though he knew this before. But he felt the sound coming from the Tanjiro very warm and meekly, so he decided to use his body to protect what Tanjiro said was more precious than his own life. He was beaten by the wild boar man until his body was bruised. When Tanjiro arrived, he couldn't hold back his anger and rushed in to beat the wild boar-faced guy. Arc 14. Wisteria House. The two fought each other, and the wild boar man's fighting became more and more aggressive. Tanjiro advised him to stop, but the wild boar-faced man still rushed to attack frantically. In the end, Tanjiro had to use the iron head to make the pigman dizzy and bleed. The mask fell to reveal a baby face with a muscular body, named Inashuk. Then he fainted because the blow to the head was too strong. Then they went down the mountain following the crow's instructions. Inashuk also followed them. Farewell to the three brothers. The crow gave the brother a bag of wisteria flowers to fight the demon. These three guys were walking while asking for a fight. When it was already dark, they were resting in a clan that was previously helped by a demon slayer swordsman. The next morning, they bid farewell to the old woman who had been enthusiastically taking care of them, and then set off on a mission at Mount Nadagumo. So on until they reached the mountain, they met a swordsman of the demon slayer team being dragged away. Tanjiro quickly went with Inashuk to the forest to figure things out, while Zenitsu was too scared to sit down and cry. Here, the two noticed that the surrounding area was full of spider webs. Tanjiro cut the silk threads to save them, but no matter where he cut them, the baby spiders quickly spread again. A strong smell made Tanjiro lose his senses, so he asked Inashuk to sniff out where the demon was controlling everyone. Inashuk uses the beast sense to locate the surrounding space and locate the demon. Chapter 16. Letting someone else go first. Tanjiro and Inashuk had discovered the demon but still had to hold off the controlled swordsman. Due to their distance, their movements were still quite slow, the swordsman earlier told the two of them to find the demon and himself to stay behind. The closer you get, the faster and more decisive the mother spider demon can control people's movements. Tanjiro thought of a way to throw people onto a tree to tangle the threads so that the demon could no longer control it. Inosuke also started to follow. The mother spider demon trembled and killed them all, only focusing on controlling a single demon. Tanjiro and Inosuke encountered a large but headless demon. Inosuke rushed in to fight first, but his strength was too overwhelming. Tanjiro came up with a plan to distract the demon by sending Inosuke behind, and slashing down from the demon's neck and defeating it. Inosuke did not give in to Tanjiro's scheme. He dropped his sword and ran to hug and throw Tanjiro to the mother spider demon. The spider demon's mother knows she has failed and is afraid of fake domestic violence. She surrendered to accept death. Tanjiro realized this through the eyes of the mother spider, so he gave her the most mellow ending. The mother spider demon saw Tanjiro's gentle and warm eyes for her before disappearing. She warned Tanjiro that there are 12 moon demons here and to be careful. Arc 17, Mastering a Single Thing. Young Zenitsu at this time was walking in fear, crying and lamenting to find Tanjiro and Nezuko. He then encountered a baby spider. The demon caused venom and turned people into spider demons. Before that, Zenitsu was bitten by a spider and the poison is slowly taking effect. The spider said that when the hand of the clock pointed to the minute, he would have symptoms until he turned into a full spider. Too scared, Zenitsu climbed a tree to mourn. Then, he remembered the master who had taught him. Previously, he was cheated by his lover who took all his money and then fled away. When he was beaten up by his creditor, it was the master who brought him back to raise and train him. But Zenitsu could not improve despite his efforts. Then Zenitsu's hair started to fall out, causing him to faint, unconsciously remembering his master's words. There are 6 forms in thunder breathing, that he struggled with forever but only learned one, but he still praised him as being good. If you can only use one move, practice it to the limit. He defended exactly one move in anger. The power flooded throughout the body even though the poison had penetrated deeply, and he launched the move decisively. A lightning bolt rushing at lightning speed killed the baby spider. But the poison had penetrated deep into his body, causing him to become paralyzed and gradually lose consciousness. Zenitsu tries to use his breath to slow down the poison.